Welcome to the Steve and Bethany podcast.
It's your weekly dose of hope, encouragement, and a whole lot of fun.
All right, let's get to it.
It's episode 7.
All right, welcome into the Steve and Bethany Hopecast. We are glad that you're hanging with us. Now, today we're going to be talking in a little bit about when God feels distant.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all kind of experience that, probably more than what we would like to admit a lot of times. We'll get to that coming up. Plus, I'm telling you, you got to stay tuned toward the end of the show. We've got a miracle story. And I'm pretty cynical.
Yeah.
I don't really go for miracles a lot.
Especially when you find out about them on social media.
Yes, but I'm telling you, this is so amazing. You're going to love it. We'll have that later for you in the podcast. But we want to start today with our contest, our Win One, Give One.
Right. So this is really, really cool what we're doing. We are giving away a customized Steve and Bethany Hopecast tumbler for you and for a friend. And on top of that, you also get 2 Amazon gift cards for $50 each. So again, one for you, one for a friend. Hey, Jarvis, can we throw up the tumbler picture?
There
Look
it
at
is.
that.
Isn't
Look
that
how
awesome?
cute that is.
Yeah, now for those of you that are listening, it is, it's purple, it's blue.
It's kind of marbly.
It's marbled. It's really beautiful.
Really cute.
Really nice. It's got the Steve and Bethany Hopecast logo there on one side, and then the people that win it are going to be able to turn it over and have their own monogram right there on it.
That reminds me, did you know that guys and girls monograms are different? Like
No.
how you're supposed to do it? I did not know this. Like, I found this out about 2 weeks ago, maybe. But traditionally, monogram etiquette is guys' monograms need to be their first, middle, and last name, just like how you normally see initials.
Really?
For girls, it's first, last, middle.
Well, see, I've always seen it that way. I've never seen it
No,
the guy's way.
but apparently, see, I've always seen it the guy's way, first,
What?
middle, and last. I've never seen...
Well, see, that doesn't make any sense. The middle name is your least used name.
Nobody calls you Davis?
No. Why would
Never?
no? Why would the D in Davis be as big? I mean, the family name is Marston.
I know,
So-
but I've never thought about it. I don't know. I just thought it was weird because I've gotten stuff monogrammed after I got married.
Yeah.
And my initials are BMB, but then it's like BBM, so it's like boom. I don't know.
Sounds like
it just
sounds
looks
like
weird
a
to me.
Star Wars droid.
I know. BBM. It looks weird to me, but that's a rabbit trail.
Well,
Anyways.
yeah, so you can register to win those 2 $50 Amazon gift cards and the 2 tumblers from Victory Rivers Customs. For yourself, just go to our website, steveandbethany.com, and there you will find the link to sign up, and it takes you just a couple of minutes. We're going to be giving that away July 20th, 2020. We have to put the year in there because the podcast stays forever. July 20th, 2020 is the date we're going to be drawing a winner for that. So go ahead and get your entry in. All right, so we came to talk about that, but we also want to get into our main topic today, and that is when God feels distant, because I think that happens a lot.
Yeah, I think all been there. It's definitely something that probably isn't talked about very much, but I think everybody, no matter how long you've been a Christian, there's always this feeling of maybe a dry spell, or when you just feel like you're spending time with God, or you're studying His Word, and you're just not as focused as you would normally be, or things just kind of seem dry. And honestly, I think that's just where everybody can find themselves at some point or another. It's not anything to really be ashamed of. It just sometimes happens.
No, and I tell you, the reason why we're talking about it this week is because it happened to me. Like within the last week or two.
Okay.
I'm having prayer time, and so I'm supposed to be this big spiritual leader. I host a Christian podcast, and I work for a Christian radio station.
Fancy,
and I'm a deacon. I'm a spiritual leader, and I have trouble hearing from God. I have trouble staying focused. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're reading your Bible, and your mind starts drifting off to a million different other places.
Okay, this is so true, especially for, I think, creative people like us. Mm-hmm. We already have a lot of thoughts going on all the time. So I struggle just really honing in and really focusing, especially if it's a portion of the Bible that's a little bit more challenging to interpret, or just a passage that's a little bit harder to understand. It's easy to kind of just start.
Yeah. Well, that's where I
drifting
was.
off.
That's where I was. And so I'm trying to read my Bible, and I don't feel like I'm comprehending anything. I'm reading passages, and I'll have to go back and read it 3 and 4 times, and I still feel like, man, and I'm praying, and I'm thinking, okay, well, my prayer, I don't feel like are making any kind of connection past the ceiling tiles. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I'm praying, and I ask God, okay, well, maybe I'm focusing too much on myself. So I start trying to rearrange my prayers. I start trying to pray for other people first. Still not working. And so I'm getting to the point where it's like, what's going on? why, and this is what I think a lot of us maybe shy away from. But I think I've learned this in my Christian life is I just started getting real with God. It's like, God, I don't feel your presence at all. I don't feel like I am making any kind of progress at all. And I need your help. I mean, I just started being honest and being real. And, when you start doing that, I think God hears that because here's what I base it on. Scriptures talks about, God says, draw near to me and I will draw near to you.
Right.
Well, I'm having trouble doing that, God. Help me to draw near to you. And I think, a lot of times we kind of maybe shy away from that and think, well, we're trying, but something's wrong, something this, that, and the other. So I'm just going to just pull back because obviously it's not working. But I think we got to keep pushing, keep moving on.
Well, and along those lines too, I think even if it might be kind of hard to do, you need to take a look at yourself and think, okay, if I don't feel like I'm, getting a whole lot out of this whole Christian thing, if I don't feel like I'm really connecting with God, well, what are you filling your time with besides God? And that's I have a mirror in front of myself as I say that, because there's so many times where I think, oh, it's such a sacrifice to get up early and read my Bible. But if I have to get up early and go do something else, I do it willingly. And so I think it's important to kind of self-reflect and think about, well, what else are you prioritizing besides reading your Bible and praying and spending time with the Lord? But here's the
cycle that you get into.
Yeah.
Okay, you say, well, I'm going to prioritize that. I'm going to get up early. But you're not making a connection.
Yeah.
So now
it's routine,
it's discouraging. Now,
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying everything I know to do.
Yeah.
And it's still not working, right?
That's true.
So here's what happened. This is how good God is. Okay. This is I just love this story because I spent time praying. God, please help me. Whatever is wrong, if it's something I need to confess, if it's something I need to do that I'm not doing, or stop doing what I'm doing, just let me know, right? I just need to know that I have that connection. Because I think a lot of times people will say, well, God doesn't answer those kind of prayers. See, I disagree with that.
I do too.
I fully believe that that we're God's children, and if we need something, and sometimes we need that assurance. Sometimes we just need that kind of hug. Hey, you're mine, and everything's good.
Yeah.
So I've prayed those prayers like for 3 days in a row, right? And honestly, I'm starting to get discouraged, and I'm starting to lessen my prayer time and my time in the Word and the whole thing. And so I'm driving to work one day. And this is so how God works. I'm driving to work one day, and our local radio station here plays long-form Christian programming, right? Ministry shows. And I've listened to Charles Stanley. Now, if you don't know who Charles Stanley is with In Touch Ministries out of Atlanta. Just amazing. And he's been around. He is like one of the godfathers of Christian radio, Christian television, right? He's in his 80s now.
Yeah.
But he started talking about this prayer in Colossians, but in Colossians, in the book of Colossians,
the
only one.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to get too specific, but in Colossians, he talks about how there's a prayer that Paul is praying for those people about how they will know God and how they will see the fruits of that in their life, and it's a transforming prayer. And he said, this is a prayer you ought to pray for yourself and pray for your kids, because he said if you pray this prayer, that's what's really going to change people's lives and change your life.
Right.
It's a transforming prayer. And all of a sudden, as I'm listening to that, I feel like that hug that I was needing came down. Well, just on the middle of driving down the interstate, I felt it. I felt like, okay,
awesome.
This is what it is. And it is so awesome. And I mean, we use that word, we throw it around a lot, but God interacting with his people like that and coming down right when you need it. Because, like I say, that particular prayer may not be the prayer that you need, but when you open yourself up and say, God, speak to me. God, I need to know. Sometimes it doesn't happen immediately,
Well, and sometimes too, I've found myself here where there's been times where I just feel kind of in a prayer rut and I just don't even have the words and I don't know even what to say. And all I can really do is just start saying, okay, God, you've provided for me and my family. You have been so faithful, so good. And I just kind of try and go through the attributes of God, how he's been good to me and to my husband, and how he's blessed us, and just reminding myself of God's faithfulness, because it's kind of like, when in doubt, just point it back to God and his glory and his faithfulness. That's an easy way to just kind of get back into that rhythm of communication with God, at least for me. I don't know for anybody else.
No, I think so too, but I think sometimes maybe it's just how much you want it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because the passage that immediately after he started talking, and I felt like I got that hug, that came to my mind was when Jesus talked about, ask and you'll be given. Knock and it'll be
door
open.
will be open to you, yeah.
You know, and when you look at the original language of that, it's to keep on asking, to keep on knocking, to keep on seeking.
Pursuing,
just keep on. And I think a lot of times that's how our faith is built. Because if we had everything immediately answered when we wanted it on our time schedule, then all of a sudden, who's in control there? Is it us or is it God?
Who are you worshiping? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I just want to, I don't know what the exact point of this is, other than to encourage you that if you feel like you're in one of those dry spells and you feel like you're not hearing from God, don't quit. Even
keep on keeping on.
Even as hard as it is, and cry out to him. Be honest. God, I need you. I just need a touch. I need that hug. I just need to know that you're here with me and your presence. I know what your word says, and I'm going to stand on your word. My feelings are going to lie to me from time to time, but sometimes my feelings, I need it. I need it to feel it, And so if that's where you are, we just want to encourage you that, first of all, it happens to all of us.
Right, yeah. That's something that everybody, I think, is going to deal with at some point or another as believers, yeah.
I think so, too, because, and I think it shows that we are believers, because it's that war.
Yeah.
It's that war on the inside of trying to live our own life versus, hey, I really want to live for God, but it's hard.
Yeah, there's a tension there for sure.
Yeah, so if that's you, just keep on keeping on and know that it's not going to be forever and that God will answer. And sometimes he'll answer when you're just driving down the middle of the road and you're not even expecting him to answer. All right, the Stephen Bethany Hopecast is brought to you by, as always, our friend Pat Davis over at yourhealthplanman.com. If you've ever felt like you're paying a mortgage payment in premiums, if you feel like every time you go to the doctor, you cost you money out of pocket before the insurance deductible is met, and you got to always be ponying up money, well, Pat Davis, your health plan man, is the person that can help you out, because it's crazy system. It's based on what's best for the insurance companies. That's the way they set it up. It benefits them. But Pat Davis's clients, are you ready for this? Routinely pays 50% less in monthly premiums, and they get a check back from the insurance company after visiting the doctor.
And I think it's worth saying, we've talked about Pat Davis for a little while now, and you can find him at yourhealthplanman.com. But, maybe you haven't pulled the trigger on setting up a meeting time with him. But let's just clarify a few things, okay? First of all, there's no obligation to talk with Pat. He just wants to take a few minutes just to see if he can help you save some money every month and put you back in control of your health care. And if after it's over, you just feel like, well, this isn't for me, that's totally okay. No problem. Pat's just like you. He's a listener of this podcast. He loves it and supports us. And he's also licensed in 40 states. So more than likely, Pat can help you out. All you have to do is just take a few minutes of your time and chat with Pat if you want to. Just schedule a time to talk to him. Go to yourhealthplanman.com. It's yourhealthplanman.com.
And if you don't live in one of those 40 states, you need to move.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, it is time for our weekly update now of the continuing saga of Bethany and her house guests.
Yeah, me and all my roomies.
So, okay, let's set the stage for those who have not heard. And by the way, if you have not heard, you can go back in the archives and listen to the whole story of how we got to this point. But Bethany and her husband, Cody, have been married 2 years?
Almost 2 years, yeah.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So you guys have been, for the most part, by yourself. Everything's been fine. And then everything's kind of taken a turn here lately.
That sounds kind of sad. It's not bad, but it's a full house. And it's kind of our own twist on the TV show, I guess.
Do you, when somebody knocks on the door, it's always open?
Right, exactly. Yeah, basically, that's what it's turned into. No, so my brother, my sister-in-law, and their dog and their baby moved in with us almost a month ago, going on a month.
Right.
And they moved from Minneapolis, Minnesota, sold their house up there, wanted to be closer to family, so moved down here with us. The timing, of course, of them buying a new house here hasn't worked out because they were looking for houses out of state and it's complicated. So they moved in with us. So they're looking for houses now.
And we saw the wonderful picture of the dog, your dog, with the pacifier of the baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. My miniature dachshund Gus is really liking his little. Would it be his nephew? I guess
I would guess so.
Kind of.
His two-legged nephew.
Yeah, you know. So that's been a little bit of a challenge trying to keep him away from the baby. He loves any kind of mealtime now though, because he literally just stands underneath the chair and is like, "What you got?" He was
because
being
he's ready. He's ready for the baby to spill.
Oh, well, not even that. The baby, my nephew Rhett, he's learned how to hand food off to Gus.
Very good.
So Gus was hand-fed steak this afternoon.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. But on top of that, my parents also sold their house, and the timing lined up where the house that they're moving into is not ready to close on. So they sold their house. They're not ready to move into their new house, so they are technically homeless and living with us. And my dad, they moved in a couple days ago. My dad was like, "This is a weird turn of events." Like we put a roof over your head for so long, and then now we're homeless and living with you. Like,
Now,
it's just strange.
let's set the scene. How big is the house that you and your husband live in? Because it's a starter house for the most part,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
it's not huge. You're not living in a mansion.
It's not ginormous. It's got 3 bedrooms.
Okay.
We really only, of course, use one of them because we live in one of them.
Right.
So the other 2 were pretty much empty. So we had to get those set up, and it's been fine. I think the thing that I had to talk to my parents about. My parents have been so sweet. They started right when they moved in. Started by saying, "Are you going to hate us at the end of this?" And I was like, "I don't think so. I think it'll be okay."
I don't think so.
We get along, but
I'm leaving the door open.
I did tell him though. I said, "Listen, my house, my rules. Mom, Dad,
Wow.
go to your room."
Wow.
Like that's how I was messing with him and stuff. But I said they have to have a curfew and all that. But
Okay, so all right, so do you have like televisions in the bedroom?
no, we have
So
one
everybody shares the TV. How
One
is that
TV.
going?
That's been okay. I'm thankful because my husband always puts on like golf or something boring on Sunday afternoons. And so it's nice. I have other people on my side that are like, "Hey, we don't want to watch this. Let's
put you to
something else
sleep.
up." I did. I took a killer nap the other
I'm
day.
sure.
I really did. But, I need to throw a picture up on the screen. Maybe we can add that in post. I fell asleep.
Jarvis, he's just made your job a lot harder.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I
He's
fell
not-
asleep
he's
on the
not amused
couch
over there, by
with
the way.
all the dogs on me yesterday.
Oh, really?
Went out for like 3 hours, took a nap with all the dogs. It was great.
Okay, so you're sharing TVs.
Yeah.
You got 3 bedrooms, and that's you gotta have a slide rule to keep up with how many people's in the house. You got 2, you got 4, you got 6, 7, and 2 dogs.
7 and 2 dogs. Yes.
7 and 2 dogs.
It's really been fun for right now. I
Yeah.
think it's been really, it's good so far. I'll let you guys know as soon as it's not fun. I may come into work just haggard, looking disheveled and saying they got to move out, but I haven't gotten there yet. We'll see.
Well, that's good. That's good because look, it is true, especially as you get older with your family and
Yeah.
stuff. It's great having them around, but too much of it can be a little stressful.
I will say last night something happened that kind of made me thankful to have family so close. So the dishwasher exploded last night.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the living room. I was picking some stuff up, and my brother was loading the dishwasher, and I hear him go, "Oh no!" And I ran into the kitchen. There's just water, like probably 2 gallons worth of water all over the floor. And we're not entirely sure what happened, but the dishwasher didn't drain, and so there was just a ton of water in it. And it just went everywhere when he opened up the door. And so my dad immediately got down there. My brother got down there. My husband got down there. And so they're fixing it. And then, of course, me and my mom and my sister-in-law, all the ladies, were just, standing back and watching the guys work. And that was kind of nice.
Well, see, now here's an advantage
We got all
of
the
that.
handymen.
Well, no, but not only that, but the repairs that need to be made. That's 3-way repair
That
right
is
there.
true. We're
You know what
saving
I'm
money
saying?
on this thing.
Well, here you go.
We haven't bought groceries since everybody moved in. That's kind of the
And
exchange.
that's another thing I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Do we have labels on food? This
No.
is Bethany's cereal.
My mom asked me, she's like, "Do you want me to keep our stuff separate?" I was like, "I don't care. If I can eat it, you can eat my stuff. I don't care." So it's been all good.
Well, that's good. Yeah, and look, I don't know your brother and your sister-in-law very well.
Yeah.
But I have met them, and your parents are just amazing people.
The best.
So you're pretty good. Yeah, I think you're gonna be okay.
Like I said, if it ever gets to the point where I can't take it anymore, I'll let you know. And
It'll
I'll
be
text
great
you.
podcast material.
It will. I'll text you. I'll be on the way to your house saying I gotta get out. Well, this month, Hope Dealers at patreon.com/Steve and Bethany podcast, they get an exclusive interview with Chris Tomlin, and we're going to dive deep and find out some very interesting info about Mr. How Great Is Our God, like what is the worst trouble he ever got into and what he considers himself an expert in besides music.
Mm-hmm. And everybody that is a Patreon member, that is a Hope Dealer there with Steve and Bethany, they got this show early, and they also got it ad-free. They didn't even have to listen to this ad. So that's really pretty cool. And we're gearing up for our first ever virtual coffee shop, which is going to be
Pretty
fun
pumped
with
about
our Patreon members as well. Plus, they get bonus episodes that they get to choose the content of. So that's always fun, too. And goodies like that handmade, hand-painted desk art, an exclusive T-shirt, classic Steve and Bethany videos, which are always fun, and tons more. Look, this is a perfect way to support our show. Tiers start at just $5 a month. When you think about all the stuff you get, the behind-the-scenes access, all the goodies and everything, it's a great value. $5 a month to get started at patreon.com/Steve and Bethany podcast. Patreon.com/Steve and Bethany podcast. Join us, support the show, and be an insider with us. Patreon.com/Steve and Bethany podcast.
Okay, so we're going to be sharing an amazing miracle story with you here in just a minute. But first, I want to let you know that we've got kind of a new Facebook group. It's another way for you to connect with us, be a part of the Hopecast community. It's called Steve and Bethany's Hopecast. Go on Facebook. It's an open group. You can just join and connect with other people that are listening.
Yeah, I got to give Jarvis credit on this because he was the first one to tell me about, hey, you ought to do a group. And I'm thinking, okay, well, we've got a Steve and Bethany's Hopecast page.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Well, actually, there is a big difference. There's a lot of interaction that's a bit able to take place. And like, for instance, like if you post something, it's not always seen on the page, whereas in the group, it's a big deal. So, so please go join us. It's absolutely free. We don't ask any kind of questions. You know, there's some of those groups that are just like, hey, what's your favorite, ice cream flavor, and what's your shoe size and all that kind of stuff.
Weird
We
stuff.
don't care about that. We want you to join us. If you feel encouraged by us, if you want to interact with us, because that's what we want to do. We're certainly not, the burning bush here or anything.
Yeah.
We want to have your input as to what can make this podcast better and be able to cover things and talk about things that are interesting to you.
Right. Well, we even threw up a poll a couple days ago asking you kind of, hey, what do you want to hear from us on the Hopecast? And so you were able to vote on that. We really appreciate you doing that. So again, join us, Steve and Bethany's Hopecast group.
Yeah, and plus it's going to be something where you're going to get to know people, because we have a little introduction thing where you tell you who you are. And so we're going to have time of prayer where we'll have people throw out their prayer requests and all kinds of stuff. So we really want to get interactive with it. But yeah, you're right. It's Steve and Bethany Hopecast on Facebook. It's a Facebook group, Steve and Bethany's with the S, Steve and Bethany's Hopecast. So that's good. Okay, so now we've talked about this in the past. I guess we've talked about it on this podcast about how cynical I am on stuff.
You're just cynical in general, but mostly social media stuff.
I don't mean to be.
Yeah.
I really wish that was something a part of it. Why are you laughing?
No, it just makes me laugh.
Because
you're just a little like, what's the guy? Little Scrooge. You're just a little Scrooge with things sometimes.
But I don't mean to be.
I
really want to be. I want to be that person that is excited all the time by good news and stuff, but I'm just not.
Well, no, but you are. You're like a little conundrum because there's times where you're like, this is the best ever. And you like text me and it's a million exclamation points and you're really pumped about something. And then there's other times where you're scrolling on Facebook and I've seen you make this face. You go like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you go, I don't know.
Yeah, because I've been burned so many times.
I know
because
you
I have
have.
sent those texts, and then it turns out,
False.
it's false, and it's
Yeah.
a hoax, and I'm the one that looks foolish for
Right.
telling everybody about it. But this particular one is not from Facebook. This is actually people that I know in my life. Okay,
good place to start.
And this is a for real miracle. I mean, it just gives me chills just to even think about it. I want to tell you the story of Orrin Paul Hart. Okay, and I got his permission from his parents to talk about this and even show his picture, which Jarvis will put up here in just a second. But little Orrin was, I guess he's like a year old, okay? And he lives in Arkansas, and he had some heart problems. And so he was taken to a specialist in California, and they did some imaging of his heart and everything and found 3 blood clots in his heart.
Oh, my goodness.
3, yeah. So you can imagine, especially in the COVID-19 stuff that we're in, being able to actually be with him and the whole family has been tough, and the whole thing, and the obviously the parents have been going through the ringer through this thing. And they've done scans of how we're going to proceed. And they came up with this Facebook page for basically information for family, but also for prayer requests and stuff. It's called Opie Hart's Hart, H-E-A-R-T, Hart. And so we were able to keep up with that. And my wife knows little Oren's grandmother, and so she's friends with her, and they've been talking and praying the whole time in this. So we jump cut to about 2 days after a scan that showed all 3 of those blood clots, and what are we going to do? How are we going to proceed with that? And in that interim time, they go back and they take another scan. Not a single blood clot. Let's see. Can we show a picture of little Oren? There he is, right there.
Oh, he's so cute.
So it goes from seeing messages of despair and just parents at their wits' end, saying we got to pray, we don't know what to do, to the next post was, they're talking discharge. This was the discharge picture of little Oren.
That's amazing. So nothing in his heart at all.
Nothing, yeah. And again, this is not something like, oh, well, we made a mistake or there was some kind of blurry image. There was 3 blood clots.
Wow.
And they actually showed the picture. I didn't bring that picture, but they did show the pictures where you could see all 3 areas that they had marked. These are the blood clot areas that threaten a little boy's life.
Yeah.
And he is now coming home, and he's going to be fine. And again, this is not something that just, oh, by the way, happened. I mean, they went to specialists in California, and everybody documented how bad a situation this was. And the only thing his parents are saying is, it's prayer.
Yeah,
it's a total miracle. It's only God. So,
That's so cool.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great? And I just love that. And so if you get a chance, if you find something difficult to be thankful for, be thankful for little Oren.
That's amazing.
So that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And we thank to his parents for giving us permission to use the picture and to tell the story, because I didn't want to do that, without, even though she had put it all on social media and wanted everybody to see, that's mainly for family and friends and kind of stuff.
And it's definitely a story worth telling.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad you shared that.
And she's all fine with it. So we just so thankful for little OP is what his dad called him. So that's awesome. So I think wraps up what we're going to do today, right? Anything else?
7.
Yeah, 7 already in the books.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, want to remind you again about our contest. Win one, give one. It's that tumbler from Victory Rivers Customs, where it is just this beautiful marble, different colors, Stephen Bethany logo.
You can customize it with your monogram.
Yes, the winners are going to be able to do that. You get the cup for yourself and a $50 Amazon gift card, plus a $50 Amazon gift card and a cup to give away.
Right.
Go register at StephenBethany.com.
And if you haven't followed us on social media, hit us up. Stephen Bethany's Hopecast or Stephen Bethany Hopecast everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that.
And don't forget about Patreon, Patreon.com. This month we're featuring an interview we did with Chris Tomlin. By the way, so go by and listen to that. Join us. We got tons of insider information for you. $5 a month is all it costs to join us there on Patreon, and we would love for you to do that. Patreon.com/Stephen Bethany Hopecast. Are we done?
I thought you were ending it that way.
Oh no! Well, I gotta get out. You gotta say something so I can get out.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
We're done.
Good night, Olive Branch.
That's so weird.